Life Magazine, July 21st, 1952, Volume 33, Number 3, featuring The SS United States Takes the Blue Ribbon, pages 54 through 62. Good evening and welcome everyone out there listening to this very special broadcast. We hope this will bring you lots of joy in our postmodern world today, akin to his equally eye-catching dedication to vivid photojournalism as seen in its companion serial publication, Fortune magazine. Make sure to check out our broadcast reading, Fortune's June 1936 issue about the Queen Mary here. Henry Luce launched the weekly Life magazine in 1936. Quite a while ago now, if I do say so. While Fortune focuses on reporting the happenings of the financial world, however, Life more broadly dedicates itself to all aspects of cultural phenomenon within the contemporary zeitgeist, with articles and editorials alike taking precedent according to, rather than taking over, the vibrant photos, both in black and white and color, that accompany them. And it has been running strong in its weekly streak since its inception 16 years ago. It has been heralded for its powerfully concentrated coverage of the harrowing but hopeful events of the Second World War and the Allied powers' eventual victory over the oppressive Axis attempts at a world takeover. But in its time, Life has covered some more lighthearted subject matters as well, like the elite parties and dramas everyone seems to want to know about in Hollywood, the more human side of both beloved as well as controversial political figures from around the globe, and of course, the adventurous curiosity that enables our readers to travel the world and become more culturally aware as well as sympathetic to our fellow man of varying race, custom, and tradition. Like all Life magazine publications for the past 16 years, the July 21st, 1952 edition consists within itself endless opportunities for enlightenments of all kinds. The cover features, in bright, vivid color, a portrait of presidential candidate Dwight D. Eisenhower, complementing the featured article in this edition surrounding the presidential race and the exciting debates that recently took place. But our focus is on one of the 4 featured weekly event articles of a different kind. We can finally stop holding our breaths as the Second World War is now finally over. And while we concern ourselves now with prepared anticipation for the prospective risk of nuclear war, our naval and luxury markets have combined forces, interestingly enough, to bring us the perfect metaphor for the state of our nation today. The US has finally found itself as a superpower on the high seas, being able to rival Britain's superliners Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth, which both aided war efforts so insurmountably that analysts say the war was shortened by an entire year. Now, how do you like that? We hope that the brand new, sparkling, state-of-the-art American constructed equivalent may shorten the Cold War by at least that much, if we so find it escalate to that point. And of course, we hope not. The ship's name, appropriately, is the SS United States. Now, the US lines, as we know it today, truly began in 1921, where known liners named after American presidents became its staple. And while they were famous in their own rights, they could not seem to hold a candle to the European superliners of the modern, jazz, and depression eras. And while the SS Leviathan was a very international figure, it was the SS America, built chiefly by and for the United States lines in 1940, that gave this country its leg up. And you best believe the US lines was quick to flag it as an official ship of state. And it proved itself a ship of state, also aiding the war efforts to bring the Allied powers to victory. But the SS United States will make the America look like a prototype. A very beautiful and advanced one as it is, complementing military precision and ingenuity, much of it a closely guarded secret by the way, with modern luxury for every civilian businessman and seasonal vacationer alike. And now, with the exciting backstory established, our featured article, with vivid illustrations, showcasing the results of this impressive new ocean liner fit for the ongoing atomic age. But before that, a quick message from our friends over at Kodak. This commercial appropriately happens to be based on board an ocean liner. For those planning on traveling aboard the SS United States, we hope this inspires you to use a stylish and efficient Kodak Signet 40 camera to capture those lasting romantic shipboard memories.
Here's how you can relive a good time over and over again. See it, big as life in full color slides. The newest, smartest way to take color slides is with a stylish Kodak Signet 40 camera. You'll wear it proudly everywhere you go. Just aim, focus, snap. It's as easy as that. Exciting action shots, eye-catching close-ups, beautiful scenes, indoors or out, day or night. You can take them all in rich, beautiful color. The Kodak Signet 40 is the smartest color slide camera you can buy, yet it costs only $74 or as little as $7.50 down. Other fine Kodak color slide cameras range in price from $31.50 to $175. Ask your dealer about easy terms, and remember, when your camera is made by Kodak, you know it's good.
Now our featured presentation as we read one of the weekly event articles from the July 21st, 1952 edition of Life magazine, volume 33, number 3, soon to be on store shelves everywhere. The SS United States, new luxury ship, the biggest ever built in this country, has already proved herself the fastest liner afloat. The $70 million SS United States, the world's newest liner, is the biggest ship ever built in the US. Above, in a painting done for Life magazine, she is shown in cross-section against a background of Lower Manhattan. At right, her main areas are located. She is 990 feet long, grosses 53,000 tons, has 12 decks, and carries 2,000 passengers, almost half of them in first class. She has theaters equipped for stage productions, a swimming pool for both first and cabin class passengers, children's playrooms in all 3 classes, and special non-slip floorings on the playdecks. The United States is, all in all, the most luxurious liner afloat, and, for many reasons, is a sea-going miracle. She was built by the Newport News Shipbuilding Company in less than 30 months, whereas it took more than 4 years to build the Queen Elizabeth. She carries virtually as many passengers as the Elizabeth, the world's largest ship, yet weighs an astonishing 20,000 tons less. She contains more aluminum than any other thing ever built anywhere at any time, and is the first big ship to be completely air-conditioned and fireproof. In a matter of days, she can be converted to a troop carrier accommodating 14,000 men. But what will most firmly establish the United States as a nautical wonder is her speed. With her turbines running at only 2/3 of capacity, she has gone 34 knots. The Queen Mary got up to 33 knots when she established the transatlantic crossing record. The United States' speed is accounted for in part by high-pressure turbines, the most powerful in the world. Other speed factors are her slim hull, her lightness, her double set of twin propellers. At slower speeds, only the forward pair are used, but at the signal for more speed, the aft screws cut in, much like the overdrive on a modern car. Just how fast she can go is not yet known, and when it is, will become a military secret. A lot of shipwise people are sure that if she lets out, the United States will be the first ocean liner to pass 40 knots, and some suspect she will reach 45. Her slim form leaves virtually no wake even at a speed of 25 knots, which the United States is doing here in this trial run off Cape Henry, Virginia, before delivery to the US lines. The smoke is leaving the funnels sideways due to a strong crosswind. First class stateroom contains aluminum furniture, fire-resistant spreads, and drapes. Fare for this room, New York to Southampton, in season, is $455. Every cabin on the ship has telephones from which passengers can make overseas calls. The swimming pool is of Monel metal, first ever to be installed on a ship, since this material is far lighter than tile. The temperature of its salt water is controlled thermostatically. The decorative signal flag spells, "Come on in, the water's fine." The cabin class stateroom on main deck has twin wash basins, visible in the mirror, accommodates 2 to 4 passengers, 2 of them in Pullman-like upper berths. Fare, $275 a person. Tourist class cabins are much the same as this, but smaller. On the first trip, she tries for the record and breaks it. Leaving 13,000 wildly waving visitors behind, the United States backed out of her pier July 3rd for her maiden Atlantic voyage. Once at sea, she settled down to the serious business of living up to her trial run speed. The first day out, she set a new record, averaging 34.11 knots against the Queen Mary's 31.13. The second day, operating through fog by radar, she covered the greatest distance any ship has ever made in one day, 801 miles at 35.6 knots. On the third day, she stepped up speed until she was plowing the seas at 36.17 knots, 41 miles an hour. Early the next morning, a blast of the ship's horns announced the United States had crossed Bishop's Rock, the official transatlantic finish line. At an average speed of 35.59 knots, she had made the trip in 3 days, 10 hours, 40 minutes, beating the record set by the Queen Mary in 1938 by 10 hours and 2 minutes. Then she turned around and smashed the westward record. The SS United States continued. Out at sea, passengers on the open promenade at the ship's stern watched the sunset. The tip-off that the liner was going to try for the speed record came on the day before sailing, when passengers who had lower cabins right above the screws were transferred to cabins where the noise of propellers would not disturb them. Arriving in Southampton, home port of her rivals Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth, the United States got vociferous welcome. Small boats crowded to pay respect. Above. At dock, below, festoons of streamers and cheering English paid sportsmanlike tribute to the ship which had beaten Britain's pride. The SS United States continued. Ship's fun on record run. On the crossing, the passengers on the United States never lacked a ready topic of conversation. The speed, or something to do in idle moments. Go to the bulletin board to read the latest log. They enjoyed watching the most noted passengers, Margaret Truman, worried about their bon voyage presents. There were so many it took over half the trip to distribute all of them, and exchanged opinions on the air conditioning. It was fine. And they kept asking veteran crossers what they thought of the vibration. Not bad considering the speed. On the bridge with Commodore Harry V. Manning, Margaret Truman tried binoculars. She was one of those invited to the bridge when the United States crossed finish. Exuberant Margaret enjoys herself in spirited game on deck tennis. Wary Margaret leans toward the captain as she tries her hand at the wheel. Celebrating the record at 6:15 a.m., passengers who had stayed up all night form a conga line on deck after the United States passed Bishop's Rock. Thank you, listeners one and all, and we hope you enjoyed this broadcast featuring one of the weekly event articles about America's newest ocean liner. Purchase your own copy of the latest Life magazine issue at your local newsstand and wherever magazines are sold. Life magazine editor-in-chief Henry R. Luce, president Roy E. Larson, editorial director John Shaw Billings, publisher Andrew Heiskell, advertising director Clay Buckhout. Life magazine, copyright under International Copyright Convention, all rights reserved under Pan American Copyright Convention, copyright 1952 by Time Incorporated. The cover and entire contents of Life are fully protected by copyright in the United States and in foreign countries and must not be reproduced in any manner without written permission. I hope you enjoyed this audiobook-style reading of the SS United States article in the July 21st, 1952 issue, because at the time of this recording, the SS United States is on its way to becoming an artificial reef. Depending on when you're listening to this, she might already be an artificial reef. Or who knows, maybe something happened and she is still with us and people are walking the decks as we speak. Either way, I hope this archives this very fascinating edition of Life magazine. There are more to come. With that said, please do subscribe for more content like this, and check out the many videos already available that bring back the golden age of ocean travel. Please do the thing all YouTubers are known to say and press the like button, which also really helps me out. and comment something about your favorite part of the article, or any stories you have to share about the SS United States and her fate, or experiences you had if you got to sail aboard her or know someone who did, or even just got to board her while she was in Philadelphia. Happy sailing, and as always, keep your eye on the golden hope of the horizon. At the end of the storm, there is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Those words are requested by a listener apparently going through a difficult time. Susie, we hope that brightened your spirits, if not a little bit, and we want to thank all of our valued listeners for tuning in, and we look forward to hearing from you in the next broadcast.